Lexus is on a very strong tear at the end of 2023. Their hybrid uptake is unlike we've ever seen before. I think that's going to keep increasing. And we know Lexus wants to be fully battery electric here in North America in 2030. But until then, there's a lot of shakeup going on with their current models. So if we go back into 2023, we had the new RZ, first ever electric vehicle for Lexus here in North America. The UX electric exists elsewhere. Lexus TX came out in 2023 as well. I'm seeing them on the road. This is arguably the most important vehicle for Lexus in a long time. They've needed a viable family mover for ages. Now, the TX gets rid of the 7th seat if you get a hybrid. Drives me crazy. That's souring the idea of a TX for me. But the TX, regardless, is going to be amazing for them. And so is the TX plug-in hybrid, which has the V6 plug-in hybrid that is shared with the $170,000 Century plug-in hybrid Century SUV that I showed you guys when I was in Japan. The thing's incredible. So TX in 2023, RZ, we have LBX and LM. I showed you guys the LM when I was in Japan. That thing is incredible as well. LBX not coming to America, unfortunately, even though it'd be awesome to have that alongside the baby UX. An RX plug-in hybrid was a surprise that came out of left field in 2023. But let's get into 2024. It's starting off huge in January. I'm signed up to go drive the GX 550 at the end of January, and I'll share my impressions with you guys. But pricing's already out on the GX 550. It hasn't gone up much in price, about 2% on the entry level, or should I say the premium over premium. And the new GX is just a home run in design. It is stunning, and it's going to be a more affordable, more reliable G-Wagon for a lot of people. So can't wait for the GX. NX could get a refresh in 2024. Timelines say and dictate that it should. I just don't think it's going to get a major refresh. And the idea of old times where we see new headlights, new taillights, I just don't see that happening. But we could see some updates for maybe a 2025 model year NX that happens in 2024. We could be seeing some small changes to the LX. Potentially, we would finally see the LX 700H, which is the iForce Max powertrain we see in the Sequoia, for example. It's just crazy that the Sequoia launched with it, and the LX, which costs over $100,000, doesn't have it still in 2024, but it could happen finally in 2024. It's not going to bring any more excitement to that vehicle, in my opinion, because the GX is the same size as the LX now, and it looks way better. All right, UX 300H could be coming in 2024. The thing is, it's 100% coming for Japan in 2024. I just don't know if we're going to see the switch over for the 300H in 2024. It would make sense to me, but I think you can already pre-order and get your hands on the 2024 model year UX 250H, but it needs to have this 300H powertrain because the Corolla Cross has this updated 5th generation hybrid powertrain with nearly 200 horsepower. Meanwhile, the UX has used the outdated powertrain of the 2 liter for years now. So, yep, Lexus, go figure, like the LX, right? They are oftentimes not the first in the Toyota Lexus lineup to get powertrains, which is just unacceptable because it's a luxury brand. They should get the cutting edge technology first. The Lexus RC Coupe could be killed off in 2024 as well. In 2025, we could see the IS battery electric vehicle family enter the market. It was teased to us at the end of 2021. They look absolutely gorgeous. They looked like they were production-ready models, at least with the design. They look super polished, and it's been crickets ever since. However, my friend Mike Forsyth, he posted recently, I think on his Instagram, that the IS BEV prototype was just teased in China. So there's a possibility that in 2024 it could be seen in China. In 2025 we could be seeing it in the North American market. Time will tell, but I want these models out super soon. The current IS is super long in the tooth. It looks great. It just is a dinosaur on outdated platform and technology. The Lexus TZ 3-row battery electric vehicle built alongside the BZ5X in Kentucky will be coming in 2025. It will be interesting, right? Because it is like a 3-row competitor that's fully electric to the TX. Lexus ES could and should and is on track to head back to Japan for production for the first time since 2013, something like that, when they started producing the ES in Kentucky. It's going back to Japan, which is exciting. We'll see hybrid, plug-in hybrid versions of the ES, potentially maybe a fully electric. I don't see that happening with the IS battery electric family, but the ES, it has a lot of ground to cover. And the reason is the LS is on, it's on life support right now. It could be canceled in 2025, the LS, before it's replaced with a fully battery electric flagship in the following years. But the LS is it just doesn't sell for anything anymore. The Germans make better large sedans at this point in time. Even Genesis, it arguably makes a better full-size sedan as well. It has a better powertrain than the LS. Yes, the LS could be ending in 2025, and that's why the ES, like I said, the ES has a lot of slack to pick up from the discontinued GS that happened in 2021, as well as potentially the discontinued LS. So the ES needs to have a lot of improvements and a lot of desirability, a lot of performance to carry the load. Lexus doesn't need 3 sedans, a flagship, a front-wheel drive model, as well as the rear-wheel drive IS. They just need to have the IS and ES. As long as they can make those vehicles as best to their ability as possible, they don't need to have a flailing and dying flagship on their hands that is uncompetitive. GX 550H Plus, the hybrid version of it, should be coming in 2025. It could be called the GX 600H. Don't have official naming of it, but it'll be turbo 4-cylinder hybrid that we see on the Land Cruiser, 326 horsepower and more pound-feet of torque than most people need, 465. Now, there's also trademarks for a Lexus HZ. And my theories with the HZ is that it could be the hatchback variant of the fully electric IS. And the HZ trademarks have 350, 450, and 550 nomenclatures to them. So if we see 550 nomenclature, that's going to be 400 fully electric horsepower. 350 would probably be rear-wheel drive only. 200 to 250 horsepower, and the 450 would have all-wheel drive as well, with about 300 horsepower plus. Could have more. So HZ, I know it's going to come. I don't know exactly what it is. H could stand for hatchback, and I think it could be the hatch IS coming in 2025. 2026, as we get further out, some things get a little bit murky, but in 2026, we have hard deadlines from Lexus, from Toyota. This is when the new platform comes online for Lexus and Toyota, the next-gen platform using gigacasting, software-defined vehicles, next-gen battery technology with Panasonic. You have smaller, thinner batteries. Energy density goes up. We'll be seeing huge range improvements across the Lexus lineup for their EVs, and that starts with the LFZC. Don't know what they're going to call it. Maybe that's what they call the HZ. It's possible, but the LFZC, 100%, that concept that we saw is coming in production form in 2026. You're able to sit lower to the ground with the smaller batteries. It's just super efficient. And screens everywhere on the inside. And it's going to be really cool to see how that vehicle drives. But that's the big thing for Lexus in 2026. We could see a new UX in 2026. We could finally see the UX introduce the EV variant, maybe with more power. That'd be pretty cool. How fun would it be to have a UX F-Sport Performance or UX-F electric with 400 horsepower fully? It would just be a rocket. And the UX is kind of the same size as the Hyundai Kona, except even more cramped. But the Hyundai Kona's had an EV for a long time, so I know it's totally different markets, but those vehicles remind me of each other because they're so similar in size. And it would be great to have a UX electric alongside of the UX 300H in 2026. Make it a little bit bigger because the current UX is just too small in the cargo. It's too small for the passengers in the backseat. I can hardly get out and into the backseat of a UX. RZ, what is going to happen to the RZ? Well, it could be canceled because we have the next gen platform coming with the LFZC. So they could just get rid of the RZ, and we'll have a next gen compact crossover to take over the RZ in 2027. Also, geez, we have to go back in time. There's one vehicle I have not covered, and that's the LFR. The LFR is a Mercedes AMG GT fighter, 4-liter twin-turbo V8, potentially hybrid variants of it. This will replace the RC and the RCF as the GT3 race car for Lexus. This is 100% coming as a Lexus. It was debuted as the GT3, GR-GT3 at the Tokyo Auto Salon last year. Vehicle has to come out 2025, I'm going to say. Carry the torch of Lexus performance, because Lexus Performance is going fully electric. This is their last hurrah with motorsports as we know it anyways. LFR, can't wait for it to come. It's going to be incredible. Some people are calling it the LFA2 in Japan. We could also see in 2026 LFZV or LFZA. Those were also trademarked. At the same time, the LFZC and the LFZL were trademarked. And those could be pushed into 2027 as well. I think one of them has to be the replacement for the RZ. And the RX, I think, will get one last refresh probably in 2026 before it goes fully electric in 2030, right? Because Lexus has to be fully electric in North America by 2030. 2027, we could also see a refresh, one last refresh on the NX for a few more years before it goes fully electric by 2030 as well. Guys, that's a lot. There's a lot coming for Lexus in the next 5 years. It is huge with the introduction of a new EV platform and new EV software that's going to change the company forever. The GX 550 coming out early 2024, that is going to be absolutely incredible. Twin turbo V6 off-roading powerhouse. And there's a lot of exciting things coming for Lexus. And for me, none of them really involve the RX or NX, their best-selling vehicles. My excitement goes over for the GX. It's there for the next-gen EV platform. It's there for the IS EV whenever it comes, even though it's built more than likely with the old architecture. Just can't wait for those vehicles to come, as well as the performance leader of the lineup and the race car, the LFR. I'll end with this Japanese scoop for Lexus. My favorite Lexus, maybe of all time, that I've ever driven, because I haven't driven the LFA yet, but my favorite Lexus I've ever driven is the LC. It's not the best handling car. It's not the fastest car, but my gosh, I feel so happy when I drive the Lexus LC 500. The V8 sounds amazing. You can bang it off the rev limiter. You can just look like a piece of art rolling down the road. And then when they came out the convertible, the LC was perfected. Now, they never came out with the LCF that we always wanted with a twin turbo V8 or anything like that. But with the discontinuation of the RC as the race car and the uncertain future of the LC, this story broke earlier this year coming out of Japan. And this could have been in the 2025 section, but who knows when this vehicle is coming out. Japan saying it's coming out in 2025. But this coupe is supposed to consolidate the LC and the RC together, hence the LC plus RC right here. We know the coupe market's not big to begin with, so if they just have one product that's fantastic, to take the best of the LC, take the best of the RC, mix it together, come out with a more affordable product compared to the LC. And they're saying V6 hybrid. They're saying potentially turbo V6s too. They don't really know, but I think they're onto something here. I think they're hearing accurate reports coming out of Japan about they'll have a flagship coupe, the LFR, which is a halo product, kind of a halo product. It's almost like a last-ditch effort for a combustion engine halo product from Lexus. That's what the LFR is. That technology is not really going to trickle down in the traditional sense that a halo product's technology and power and stuff trickles down. But this is going to be a little brother to the LFR and the spiritual successor, I would say, to the RC more than the LC. I think it's going to be priced closer to the RC than the LC, but they could still come out with F variants of this. That's the thing. We have the LFR now, and we could see that twin turbo V8 slotted into this. That's just that's not what this article is saying, but knowing Lexus, they like to reuse powertrains. So that would be my hope, is that we have a new RC LC successor, and you'll have multiple different powertrains. I'm sure they will be electrified in some shape or fashion, but if we get twin turbo V8, maybe twin turbo V8 hybrid or plug-in hybrid, this thing would be absolutely insane. But that's the last piece I wanted to add for you guys. I don't know when this vehicle is coming, if it comes, but they need to have a replacement for not only the RC, but the beloved LC, even though I don't think anyone wants that vehicle to be canceled. It can live on forever, kind of like the Land Cruiser 70 series has lived on forever in many parts of the world, essentially unchanged. That's what I want for the LC. The LC is a perfect car. Pretty much, the technology, the screen technology is neither here nor there, but in terms of the car itself, it's absolutely perfect, interior, exterior, and the appeal. I'll see you guys in the comments of what you would like to see for Lexus in the next few years. What are you most excited for? Cannot wait to see the GX in 2024.